Hello, I'm Bill Peterson, Minnesota estate planning attorney. Classic folk tales often end with the conclusion, "and they lived happily ever after." Well, that should be the same result for a properly prepared family estate plan. You remember back when you were a child and mom or dad would read you a bedtime story? As you were tucked into bed, all sorts of characters and creatures even would float out through your imagination. Often these stories held an important lesson or message for the children. However, there are lessons as well for adults in these stories. In today's episode of Estate Planning by the Book, we'll take a look at the story of Peter Pan. Wendy, John, and Michael are siblings in a London family. After disrupting their parents' plans to go out for a party one evening, their father shouts at Wendy out of frustration. He tells her she's getting too old to be playing make-believe with her younger brothers. He says that she must stay in her own room beginning the next day. As Wendy, Michael, and John are about getting ready to go to bed, however, something magical happens. A charming young boy appears and introduces himself as Peter Pan. With his pixie friend Tinkerbell, he helps the children to fly off into a magical island called Neverland. Upon arriving, the group goes on a variety of adventures and encounters pirates, mermaids, crocodiles, and other wild things. Peter shows that he's a talented boy and delights the children with his antics and bravado. However, one of Peter's strongest characteristics is his refusal to grow up. He repeatedly states that he will never grow up and even refuses an offer from Wendy to go back to London to live with her and her family. In the book, they encounter Mrs. Darling, Wendy's mother. Mrs. Darling came to the window, for at present she was keeping a sharp eye out for Wendy. She told Peter that she had adopted all the other lost boys and would like to adopt him as well. "Would you send me to school?" he inquired craftily. "Well, yes." "And then send me to an office?" Mrs. Darling says, "Well, I suppose so." "Soon I should be a man?" he asked. And Mrs. Darling says, "Very soon." Peter says, "I don't want to go to school and learn solemn things," he told her passionately. "I don't want to be a man. Oh, Mrs. Darling, if I was to wake up and feel, why, I'd even have a beard." As a parent, it can be very fulfilling to watch our children grow and mature into healthy adults. However, some of us have children who would take a while to grow up. Like Peter Pan, they want to become children and be immature for a lot longer than perhaps they should be. Let's take another look at the story from an estate planning perspective. In Peter Pan's case, it would be wise for his parents to protect him from his impulsive and childish nature by setting up a trust. This would give him access to his inheritance through a trustee over a period of time, rather than in one lump sum. Additionally, if Peter decided to foolishly purchase more swords, slippers, or pixie dust, he wouldn't be allowed to. He wouldn't be left empty-handed after he finally decides that maybe he should grow up after all. In summary, a trust can be a great way to protect your children even from their own unwise habits. Trusts are very flexible and can be tailored to each family's unique needs. I'm Bill Peterson, Minnesota estate planning attorney. You can protect your children from acting like Peter Pan and sometimes refusing to grow up. Call me at 952-921-5818 for a free, no-obligation consultation on your estate plan. Thank you, and I hope to talk to you soon.